Hey everyone! Today we're going to talk about an amazing part of history, the Sasanian Empire. It was a time when Persian culture was at its best, influencing not just its own region, but also places far away. The Sasanian Empire started in 224 CE, thanks to a leader named Ardeshir I, and it lasted until 651 CE, when it was taken over by the Arab Rashidun Caliphate. For over 400 years, it was a strong and proud empire that stood out as a symbol of Iranian civilization. After the Achaemenid Empire was defeated by Alexander the Great in 330 BCE, Persia went through a lot of changes. When Alexander died, one of his generals, Seleucus I Nicator, took control of the Iranian plateau and started the Seleucid Empire. Even though the Seleucids ruled Persian lands, they kept their Greek ways, which made them seem like outsiders to the people they ruled. Over time, the Seleucids became weaker, and by 155 BCE, a group called the Parthians took over. The Parthians were from northeastern Iran, and helped bring back some Iranian traditions. However, they were still influenced by Greek culture. They are mostly known for their battles with the Roman Empire, but they don't get as much attention in history as they should. Eventually, the Parthians were defeated by Ardeshir I, who came from the province of Fars, the same area where the Achaemenid kings had once ruled. Ardeshir started the Sasanian dynasty, named after his ancestor Sasan. This was a big moment because the Sasanians worked hard to bring back and strengthen Iranian culture and values. The Sasanians made Zoroastrianism their main religion and used it to help organize their empire. Even though they had religious minorities like Jews, Christians, and Manichaeans, and these groups played important roles in their society, Zoroastrian principles were central. Some Sasanian kings even married women from these minority religions, showing how different cultures mixed within the empire. Unlike the Parthians, the Sasanians made a strong effort to focus on Iranian traditions and identity. For 400 years, the Sasanian Empire was one of the most powerful forces in the Near East. They often fought with the late Roman Empire, but were known for more than just battles. They also built strong relationships with places like China's Tang dynasty and Indian kingdoms, where Sasanian products and culture were highly valued. They built cities, improved infrastructure, and encouraged trade, making the empire a key part of the ancient world. The rulers of the Sasanian Empire were fascinating. Ardeshir I started things off by centralizing power, promoting Zoroastrianism, and standing up to Rome. He set the stage for his successor, Shapur I, who became famous for his military skills. Shapur even captured the Roman Emperor Valerian, which was a huge victory and embarrassed Rome. But Shapur wasn't just a fighter. He also built cities and started policies to improve urban life, leaving a lasting legacy. Then there was Shapur II, whose story sounds like a legend. He was crowned king as a baby, even before he was born, because his father had been murdered. The nobles thought they could control him, but they were wrong. Shapur II grew up to be a strong and creative leader. He expanded the empire, made its systems stronger, and even wrote down Zoroastrian scriptures to protect their religion for the future. And Kosrau I, who ruled the Sasanian Empire from 531 to 579 CE, is remembered as one of the greatest kings in Persian history. Known for his leadership and intelligence, he became a symbol of the perfect ruler in Iranian culture. His reign wasn't just about holding on to power. It was about making meaningful changes that kept the empire strong for another 100 years. Even today, his accomplishments are celebrated in Persian stories and literature, showcasing how his influence shaped the identity of an entire civilization. One of Kosrau's most significant achievements was reforming the tax system. Before his rule, the powerful nobles, called wuzurgans, had a lot of control over their territories. They could collect taxes from the people but didn't have to contribute much to the central government. This imbalance gave them too much power and left the empire's finances in poor condition. Kosrau changed this by introducing a fair and predictable tax system that everyone had to follow. This allowed the government to plan its income and made the central administration much stronger. Historians believe that these reforms were influenced by his father, Kosrau I, who had faced uprisings and movements like Mazdakism. Mazdakism encouraged wealth sharing to help the poor, and although controversial, it highlighted the need for economic reforms. Kosrau also worked hard to strengthen the military, understanding that the empire's survival depended on its ability to defend itself. The Sasanian Empire was surrounded by threats: the Romans to the west, the Huns to the east, and the Arabs to the south. To prepare for these challenges, Kosrau divided the empire into 4 military zones. Each zone had its own general who could respond quickly to attacks, making the army more efficient and effective. While wars with Rome continued during his reign, the changes Kosrau made gave the Sasanians an advantage most of the time. The Romans and later the Byzantine Empire were often distracted by other conflicts, which helped the Sasanians maintain their dominance in the region. Kosrau wasn't just a great leader on the battlefield or in government. He also had a deep love for learning and education. He supported the Academy of Gundeshapur, a famous center of knowledge in the ancient world. This academy wasn't just a place for Persian scholars. It welcomed ideas and texts from many cultures, including Greek, Indian, and Iranian thinkers. Scholars at Gundeshapur translated these works into Middle Persian and other languages, creating a treasure trove of knowledge. This intellectual legacy didn't end with the Sasanian Empire. The ideas and texts preserved at Gundeshapur were later passed on to the Arab world and eventually influenced European cultures. Kosrau's dedication to education ensured that his reign had a lasting impact far beyond his lifetime. However, even the strong foundation Kosrau built couldn't prevent the eventual fall of the Sasanian Empire. The story of its decline is tied to its last king, Yazdegerd III, who became ruler in 632 CE, when he was just 8 years old. Yazdegerd's reign began during a period of great turmoil. The empire was already weakened by years of internal problems, and Yazdegerd wasn't even crowned in the capital, Ctesiphon, but in Persis, the homeland of the Sasanian dynasty. This alone showed how much the empire's power had diminished. By the time Yazdegerd took the throne, the Sasanian Empire faced a new and powerful enemy, the Muslim Arabs. In 633 CE, the Sasanians lost the city of Hira, which had been an important buffer against Arab forces. This was just the beginning of a series of devastating defeats. Later that year, the Sasanian army suffered another loss at the Battle of Dat al-Salasel, and by 634 CE, the Arabs had taken control of southern Iraq. Then, in 636 CE, the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah dealt a crushing blow to the Sasanians. The Persian army, led by General Rostam Farrokhzad, was defeated, and Rostam himself was killed in the battle. This marked a turning point, as the Sasanians could no longer hold on to southern Mesopotamia. Yazdegerd tried to keep the empire together by moving from one province to another, rallying support where he could. However, the empire was crumbling. By 640 CE, the Arab forces had taken control of the Iranian heartland, forcing Yazdegerd to flee further east. Even in the eastern provinces of Sistan and Kerman, local rulers refused to help him, showing how fragmented the empire had become. In 651 CE, Yazdegerd's desperate journey came to an end when he was killed by a miller near the city of Maru. With his death, the Sasanian Empire officially came to an end. Even though the empire fell, its cultural and intellectual contributions lived on. Persian traditions, literature, and administrative systems became a significant influence on the Islamic world. The knowledge preserved and expanded during the Sasanian era helped shape the cultural and scientific achievements of the Muslim Golden Age. Kosrau's vision and the legacy of the Sasanian Empire ensured that Persian culture would continue to thrive, even under new rulers and in a changing world.